From Lemming accidentally banning every player to hackers putting whatever they want on the computer and Stomp, Gorilla Tag has had countless hacking incidents, and I'm gonna go over these from the least disturbing to the craziest hacks and accidents Gorilla Tag has ever seen. Starting with the first incident, the hacker that could clone himself. About 3 years ago, someone made a mod that tricked Gorilla Tag into thinking that this player was in 3 places at once. Lots of people deemed him a ghost, but on the 15th of July, if you went into a public lobby, you may have seen a ton of the same player cloning himself 1,000 times. In order to explain how this hacker pulled this off, I first need to explain what Gorilla Tag does when you join a lobby. When you join a lobby, before the game loads all of the players in, it uses a blank player as a placeholder while the game waits for the real players to load in. This placeholder has the name set as name, and because of Gorilla Tag's font, the E at the end of name looks a lot like an O, and it led to people calling the hacker Nemo. Nemo kept cloning his player, and he did this by making a mod that tricks the game into thinking that he is still loading, and then spams placeholders of his gorilla wherever he wants. This made everyone's game very laggy, and as a result of this, someone with the admin badge and stick joined the game and started changing his name to things like Testing Fix or Please Leave. Some people believe this might have been Lemming, and it could have been a hacker, but I think we'll never know for sure. Boda, aka a moderator, says that he thinks it's more than likely Lemming. Lemming joining the game to stop hackers is pretty crazy, but at the end of the video, I'll go over the craziest hack yet, but let's get to the next incident. Hacking the leaderboard. I came across this video that was filmed in 2022 with the player playing normally, but when he looked at the leaderboard, instead of showing the player names, it shows a message that says RubyRX is very mean. The player tried to look for the person doing this in the lobby with no success, but then he decided to look at the computer in Stomp. It shows that the code that he's in is the same message from earlier, and it looks pretty crazy. I have no clue who the message was referring to, but flooding the leaderboard with your own message is pretty insane, but just not as insane as Lemming banning every player online. And I'll go over that soon, but let's get to the next incident. Hijacking the computer in Stomp. Recently, a couple months ago, there were multiple groups of people that found some exploit that allowed them to put whatever they wanted on the credits page of the computer in Stomp. All in all, 8 people were involved in this, but if you know the computer in Stomp, at the very bottom there is a credits tab where you can see the names of the people who worked on the game. This is where the hackers put their own custom message for everyone to see. Someone had taken pictures, and I'll show them on the screen, but since this happened, it's been fixed. Some of the messages that these hackers put on the screen are messages about how they think hacking is too easy or boring, or about how they think Gorilla Tag is a pay-to-win game, or that they just keep spamming their name over and over again like this one. And it's pretty crazy how they figured out how to put messages on the computer in Stomp, but I think something way crazier is when someone hijacked the finger pinner. You see, there was a hacker named Deep, and he was known for hacking other YouTubers, but to understand how he hacked his way into the finger pinner, I have to explain how Gorilla Tag handles your account. When you load up the game, behind the scenes, the game generates a bunch of random letters and numbers for your account. To put it simply, these random letters are called a token, and if other people somehow get their hands on your token, they can use your account for the next day or two until the game makes your account another one. So to get his hands on the finger painter, Deep ended up stealing a token from a YouTuber named Bubbles VR, and Deep was able to log onto his account, and because Bubbles had the finger painter, he was able to wear it. Actually, stealing the finger painter is kind of crazy, but the last most insane thing that's happened to Gorilla Tag is the time that Lemming accidentally banned every player that was online. In 2024, at about 3 in the morning, Lemming and his team were trying to test a new anti-cheat that would in theory stop people from cheating, specifically using mod menus. But when they ended up trying it, it didn't go to plan. And because the anti-cheat wasn't set up correctly, it ended up thinking that every player that was currently online was cheating. So it banned everyone that was playing during the time that this happened. Lots of people got upset, and rightfully so, but after a day or two, Lemming and his team were able to unban every person that was affected by this.